I don't often show my work in my workshops because I like to encourage students to develop their own ideas. But sometimes it is helpful for you to see some of my samples to see how I develop certain layered processes. This is painted Bondaweb on the background, the sort of darker grey browny colours, and it's my interpretation of one of the rock pools that are about 100 yards away from my house. Actually, no, that's not right. So we say a kilometre away from my house. I love paddling around and finding all the limpets and anemones and all kinds of things in there. And I am fascinated by the seaweed, and the colours of the seaweed are quite remarkable. So this is all painted Bondaweb, and you can see the pink here. This is actually Bondaweb that I've cut out with the soldering iron. It's painted Bondaweb that I've cut out with the soldering iron and then laid on top of more Bondaweb here. And as you can probably see, I've stitched around it with the sewing machine just to give it a bit more definition. But I quite like the watery layered effects that you get as you look down into the rock pool. So I've got other shadowy layers that aren't stitched around the outside, so that you kind of look into it and look down into it and look down into it a bit more. Here's another little piece here that you can see. And I use a little bit of gilding flake in it, just because you get those little glints of light in the sand. You get that lovely kind of shimmery effect. So again, here you can just see the pink. There's a piece of pink seaweed that I've cut out from Bondaweb, and a browny one here, which you can just about see the shadowy effect of it. And then I've machine stitched around the gold one to give it a bit more definition, but it kind of gives you that layered process that you look into. So I'm just going to cut this piece of wiggly seaweed out. Kind of got this off by heart now, this particular one that works so nicely. Got little polyps and things on there. You can't see this terribly well because it's not a very good contrast. Just turn it round so you can see what I'm doing this side. So I'm just going to come down the other side now. Make sure I get the width of the stem right. If you aren't confident about working freehand with your soldering iron, you can always draw on the back, on the paper side. Just going to lift that off the Bondaweb now. If I haven't cut all the way through, as I haven't there, you can either rip it or attack it with the soldering iron again. So I'm just going to lift all the tendrils off. Be a little bit careful because it's relatively fragile, this synthetic organza. So just, the main thing is to take it off the backing paper. There we go. Oops, a bit thin, that one. Need a little bit of extra there. The more you do this, the more you get into practice. It's the same as anything else. You can become quite fast. So that's the orange piece of seaweed. Just get it laid out so that it's in the right place. I've managed to go a little bit thin on this one, so I've got the extra bit there to go on there. So I'm just working on this piece of seaweed with the soldering iron. You can see that I'm not moving terribly fast. You need to go as fast as the Bondaweb will melt. As you can see, I've already cut this with the soldering iron, but I didn't turn the video on. It's always helpful to turn the video on when you're working if you want people to see what you're doing. So I'm just going over it again so you can see the process and just how fast I'm working. It's not a race. You just go nice and slowly and smoothly, one continuous line, and just relax your shoulders. Don't hold your breath and just enjoy. I love this. It's one of the only things that really slows me down. I just love the kind of oozy feeling as everything melts. Now I know that's definitely recorded because the video is on. So I'm just cleaning my soldering iron and then I'm putting it back into the terracotta pot for safety. One thing I'd like to flag up while you're working on this process, because you're using a soldering iron and an iron at the same time, do please be careful when these two are next to each other. It doesn't help that I've got a black top on, but I think you can see the flex there, put it near my neck. You need to be careful that you don't pull the flex over the sole plate of the iron when you're working. Please do be careful, because if the iron hits that and it melts, then it'll just go bang, and that's very annoying. So please be very careful where you place the iron in relation to the soldering iron lead. You're probably highly aware of that, but it, you know, as a tutor, I need to tell you. I'm going to cut a piece of pink synthetic organza now with the soldering iron, because I'd like to start to layer the colours together. If you're not confident about drawing freehand with a soldering iron, then you can always draw on the back of the baking parchment, or not the glue side, the backing paper. And if you want to trace a design, say from a book or from somewhere else, you can see through Bondaweb. If you pop it onto a book or a drawing or a photograph, it needs to have reasonable definition, but you can actually trace onto the back and draw onto the back of the Bondaweb. So not on the glue side, but on the back, on the paper side, you can draw before you iron your fabric on. That might help. I find it helps if I need to get something reasonably accurate. So I've just drawn on the back of that, and I think you can just see, the lights aren't very good, but I can see through that to the design. So, soldering iron. So I'm just going to cut this out now, following the design. Oops, I've just gone through the backing paper there. That means I'm pressing too hard. You do not need to press through the backing paper. It means you're pressing too hard and you're actually in danger of bending the end of your soldering iron, which isn't a good look. A little hooky soldering iron is not really what you want. You want a nice fine point, particularly when you're drawing like this. I absolutely love this process. I suppose that's why I do it and why I'm telling you about it now. So I'm just going to follow the lines that I've got on the back. There we go. Start to add a few more nodules now as we get down to the bigger bits. So it's just lovely. Make sure you've gone through the lines. It's quite simple to go through the organza because it's very thin. It's when you start to use heavier synthetics, you have to move slower. So that's done. That's finished. Again, just clean your soldering iron, pop it back into the pot, away from the sole plate of the iron. This is always the worry, particularly on a crowded table like mine. So this should have cut through. I might just find the fabric. Come on. There we go. So the fabric, the Bondaweb is stuck to the fabric and you're just peeling it off the backing paper. So you've got a lovely shadowy effect. You can do this with thicker synthetic fabrics. As I say, you just need to wait a little bit longer for the fabric to melt, so that slows you down a little bit more. But it's nice to slow down sometimes. We don't have to be rushing all the time. I'm just going to pull that one. This one's slightly stretchy. I don't quite know why. This is a scrap that I've got in my bag from goodness knows where, one of the shows probably. but it must be synthetic because it cut with the soldering iron. So, and it's a pretty pink. It's just the colour that I want because it's the colour of one of the seaweeds in the rock balls. It's amazing, isn't it, having bright pink seaweed? There we go. So I'll sort that out in a minute. But you can see you also get a nice negative space. So if I sharpened up the edges here, I could peel that off and iron that onto something else. And if you could just iron that straight onto fabric because it's got Bondaweb on the back already. So it's a very useful little technique, this, if you like to build up layers, as do I. So I'm just going to take the backing paper off of this. So I've just ironed down the orange one that I cut out, and I'm now going to iron down this one. And that is just to remind you, because there's already Bondaweb on here, I don't really need to have this on Bondaweb. It could just be cut straight from the fabric on your baking tray. You don't need Bondaweb on the back, but because I like my little shapes to come out of the frame, as it were, I do put Bondaweb on the back because that's just me. So I'm going to probably do that coming out crossways there. It's a bit too central, actually, that making it like crossed hands. Let's just get this. It gets a little bit fiddly when you've got little fiddly bits. I'm not very good at doing fiddly. Make sure it's the right way round, otherwise it will stick to your baking parchment. Doesn't matter, you can just unstick it and it will go back again. There, so I want it to come out of the frame a little bit, but I think I might just leave it like that because that's quite a good position there. So we've got our layers. It's taking a little bit of time, but that doesn't matter. Just need to get the layers down flat. Okay, I think those are all the right way round. Yep. So I'm just going to iron that in place. Don't be tempted to cut all your pieces and then iron them all at once, layer, 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 because it's important to do a piece, look at it, put another piece on, look at it, and then you can start to compose that way. I find it much more useful. So I'm just going to iron that in place with top facing towards the iron, particularly as I'm not quite sure if one of them is just the right way round. I'm ironing onto the baking tray now rather than the towel, but it doesn't really matter. It should still stick. Yeah, that's all stuck down nicely. So I will take the baking tray on our way now. That looks better, doesn't it? And the piece that I've already cut out twice because I wasn't filming when I cut it the first time, I'm just going to lift this off of the backing paper now. Now you need to be quite careful with this because this is just glue and paint now. And if you have to tug it, it might mean that you haven't cut all the way through. But if you've got a white line around, it should mean that you've cut it. So I might speed this up because this could be a bit like pulling teeth watching me do this. So I'm going to take all the little edge pieces off first. It'll make it easier to pull the whole thing off. If you do pull something off, you can always just stick it back down again, just hang on to them. Bondaweb is very biddable like that because it's a glue. Right, that's more or less done now. So I'm just going to pop this down and decide where I'm going to put it next. Whoops, we've got lots of little delicate bits on it there, so I don't want to lose them. So just get it all down in the right place. There we go. Sort that out. I did manage to pull one delicate piece off, so I'll just find where he goes. He goes there. There we go. That one's a little bit bent. It's quite a fragile process this. But I think it's worth it. It's up to you, really. If you think it's too much of a pain, then obviously you don't have to do it. But I like it, which is why I'm showing you how to do it. So obviously, again, you've got your negative space here. So you could lift this off or take the backing paper off, whichever you want to do, and then iron this directly onto a piece of fabric because it's already glue. And then I'm just going to iron this down with top here next to the iron. I'm not going to touch the flex of the soldering iron as I iron this in place. So again, off steam, hot iron. This takes a couple of seconds because the glue is very thin. Mind where you put the iron next to the soldering iron lead, and then just wait a few minutes or a few seconds for it to cool down because it's too exciting and you want to see what's happening. There we go. So that's all stuck down. So I think you can see, I know the layers are subtle, but they're there. So you can see the pink piece here that's kind of merging in, but also coming out of the frame of the Bondaweb here, which I like. Then you've got the solid piece of Bondaweb, and then again you've got the other piece of applique here, which I haven't actually ironed down there, but I will do in a minute. I've obviously missed that bit in my speed to be filming. So I'm quite pleased with that. I think that works quite well. I should probably machine stitch into that another time, and I'll probably put that in the group for you to see when it's finished. I'll probably machine stitch it because I'm a little bit short of time at the moment because I'm making the videos. But I will be adding photographs to the groups when you start adding your photographs. And please remember, it's not a competition. We want to see your experiments. That's the exciting thing. I hope you enjoyed that little window into some of the processes that I use in my own work. As I say, I don't normally show my work to my students because I want you to develop your own ideas. I'm not a tutor that encourages you to copy my work and what I do. I want you to develop your own ideas. That's the whole point of all these workshops, and actually creating a membership so we can all chat to each other, encourage each other. It is not a competition to see who does the best or the most work or who can put the most photographs up. It's about experimenting, thinking about what you're doing, and just having a good time. You can ask me questions in the Questions for Kim private group, or if you're really struggling, you can email me and I will get back to you. And if necessary, I'll ring you. So see how you get on and put some photographs into the group. See you soon. Bye.